the same. We need to factor. So if I did that, we could do slip and slide here. Minus 24. Multiply to a negative 24 and add to a positive 5. 3 positive 8, negative 3. What do we have to do at this point? Divide our 2. Okay. So this factors into x plus 4 to x minus 3. We're looking for greater than or equal to 0. So what did we do next? Do you guys remember? We need to figure out when they're actually equal to 0. So first we solve each of these things. When this x plus 4 equals 0, and this 2x minus 3 equals 0. And that gives us a negative 4 and a positive 3 halves. And then, remember we made the sign line? So we plot those 2 points. That's where our quadratic would hit the x-axis. Then we had to have test points to decide if it was positive or negative. So we pick a number in each interval. So smaller than negative 4. In between. And bigger than 3 halves. And we are plugging those numbers in to my factor form. I don't care about what it's equal to. All I care is it going to be positive or negative. Okay, so if I put in negative 6 plus 4 is a negative number. 2 times negative 6 minus 3 is negative. If you multiply 2 negatives, you get positive. If I put in negative 1 plus 4 is positive. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 3 is negative. A positive and a negative make we put in 3 plus 4 is positive, 2 times 3 minus 3 is positive, 2 positives make it positive. So yesterday I had a couple people notice, is it always going to go positive, negative, positive? And with a quadratic, it usually does, but not always. Things that could change it, if you think about your quadratics, can you have an upside down parabola? So that one will go negative, positive, negative. Also, could you have a parabola that hit the x-axis and never crossed it? In which case it's always positive. So you do have to verify them. You can't just assume you know what's going to happen, especially when we get into the next time. So which ones did I want here? Positives. Greater than or equal to 0 means positive. Equal to tells me I get brackets. So it would be negative infinity to negative 4. Negative 4 would get a bracket. What did I tell you to put in between if there are multiple pieces? U for union, 3 halves, 2 infinity. Alright, I want you guys to try one. Slip and slide. We should have got it factored to 3x minus 1 and x minus 4 less than 0. So then we set both parts equal to 0. We get negative 1/3, positive 4. So those are the points we start with on our sign line. Test points, smaller than negative 1/3. Keegan, would you go ahead and put that up? Smaller than negative 1/3. In between, maybe a 0, bigger than 4, so So 5. Your test points, it doesn't matter what you pick as long as it's in the interval. So then if I plug those in, so if I put in a -2 here, that would be a negative times a negative, which is positive. Put in the 0, you get a positive times a negative, which is negative. We put in our 5, we get a positive times a positive, which is positive. We wanted less than 0 this time. So less than would be the negatives. No equal to, so that means parentheses. So we get everything between -1/3 and 4. All right, had a few mistakes on that, but it seemed like we had the right strategy overall. Are there questions there? I want to look at one last type of problem. So when I have a fraction, a rational inequality, that kind of changes things. Okay, if it were an equation, if I had said equals 1, we could just multiply by x plus 4 and get rid of the fraction. But I actually cannot just multiply both sides by x plus 4 here. Does anyone know why that wouldn't be allowed? If x plus 4 is positive, it's fine. But what happens if x plus 4 is negative? It switches your inequality. Do we know if x plus 4 is positive or negative? No. So if I multiply by it, I don't know if my inequality flips or not. So we can't do that. Instead, we are going to put everything together. I need it all on one side. So I need it. My goal is to get a single fraction on one side, 0 on the other. So I'm going to subtract over my 1. This is a 0. Now I need to combine these things into a single fraction. If you're trying to turn them into one fraction, what do they have to have? Common denominator. 1 is just like 1 over 1. So if I'm going to get the common denominator, I would have to multiply it by x plus 4 on top and bottom. That's legal because I'm not doing each side of the inequality. So I have 5 over x plus 4 minus x plus 4 for x plus 4. So now we can distribute our negative and combine this into a single fraction. So I get negative x plus 1 over x plus 4 greater than or equal to 0. That is actually the setup I want here. Are there any questions on how I got to that point? So my goal, I want a fraction on one side, 0 on the other. Now when it was a quadratic, once we got 2 parentheses, we set each of them to 0, right? We're doing the same thing here. We're going to set the numerator and denominator to 0. So if the numerator equals 0, denominator equals 0. So that gives me 1 and negative 4. Those are the points I'm going to use on my sign line. Always put the smaller one on the left. So top and bottom of our fraction equal to 0. Now we create our sign line. Smaller than negative 4, so maybe a negative 5. In between negative 4 and 1, maybe a 0. Bigger than 1, maybe 2. And I am plugging these things in right here. So if I put in negative 5, the opposite of negative 5 would be 5. So 5 plus 1 is positive. Negative 5 plus 4 is negative. A positive and a negative. Okay, if I put in a 0, 0 plus 1 is positive. 0 plus 4 is positive. 2 positives make. If I put in a 2, negative 2 plus 1 is negative. 2 plus 4 is positive, and we get a negative. These do not have to alternate signs. Most of the time they do, but it is possible to get 2 negatives in a row or 2 positives in a row. So make sure you're checking all of them. But if you get the same sign twice in a row, just double check that you didn't make a mistake. It can happen, most of the time it doesn't. Which ones did I want? Okay, equal to means bracket, but if I write this, I am actually wrong. Does anyone know why? Very good. The denominator of a fraction, remember when we were doing those, we said the bottom can never be 0. So x can't be -4, no matter what. The top of a fraction can be 0, the denominator cannot. So the 1 gets a bracket, but the 4 has to have a parenthesis. Anything that comes from the denominator gets a parenthesis on these. All right. So we're just going to keep practicing these until we're good with them. That's all where we're going to finish today. So let's do another one together before I give you guys a next try. Where do we begin? We always have to get 0 on one side. So subtract our 4, we've got that. And we want a single fraction on the other. So this is like a 4/1. If we want to add or subtract fractions, we know we need have to get that common denominator. So we'll take that times x minus 3 on top and bottom. So it gives us 4x minus 12 for x minus 3. We distribute our negative. Combine like terms. We get a -4x plus 18 for x minus 3 greater than or equal to 0. What comes next? We need to set top and bottom equal to 0 so we can make the sign. So we get 9 halves and positive 3. Right, 9 halves, that's like 4.5, so 3 has to come first. So smaller than -3, maybe a 0. Between 3 and 4.5, so maybe a 4. Bigger, maybe 5. Do we have a question to this point? Where am I plugging these in? I'm going to my x. I'm looking at where I have my single fraction. So if I put in a 0, we get a positive on top, negative on the bottom. Positive and negative make negative. If I put in 4, -16 plus 18 is positive. 4 minus 3 is positive. 2 positives make positive. If I put in 5, -20 plus 18 is negative. 5 minus 3 is positive. Negative and a positive is a negative. Which answers did we want? Positive. Equal to means bracket. Can they both get a bracket? No. The denominator, which was my 3, always gets a parenthesis. But the numerator can get a bracket. So we get 3 comma 9 halves, and the 9 halves has a bracket. you guys think you can try one on your own yet, or should we do another one together? You want to do it on your own? Okay. Good. Got some weird numbers. Kind of threw a few people. Let's check how you started. So subtract the 5 first. It's like a 5 over 1. Get a common denominator, so multiply it by 3x plus 4 on top and bottom. So we get 2x minus 1 over 3x plus 4 minus, that would be a 15x plus 20 over 3x plus 4. Okay, distribute your negative. So then if we add those together, we get negative 13x minus 21 over 3x plus 4. So now set top and bottom equal to 0. So negative 13x is equal to 21. So negative 21/13ths. Set 3x plus 4 equal to 0. You get negative 4/3. Okay, when you make your sign line, make sure the smaller one is on the left. So negative 21/13ths, that's like negative 1.6-ish. So that would be smaller. Okay, so smaller, you could do a negative 2. What could I use for in the middle of this? Negative 1.5 would work, and then bigger, maybe a 0. All right, I am plugging these into my fraction right here. So if I put in a negative 2, I get 26 minus 21, so that's positive. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative, so overall negative. Negative 1.5, you are welcome to use a calculator if you need to. I mean, you can plug it in and get the exact number, it doesn't matter. All we care about is the positive, negative, but it certainly doesn't matter. If you put it in the numerator, do you get a positive or a negative? Negative. What about the denominator? Negative. 2 negatives make positive. Put in a 0. Top is negative 21, bottom is positive 4, so overall negative. Then we look, I wanted less than 0, so that's negatives. There was no equal to, so I don't have to worry about the brackets anyway. So it's just negative infinity, negative 21/13ths, union negative 4/3 to infinity. I feel like we might need one more. We didn't. Let's walk through one more together and then we'll all stop and let you guys practice, okay? So you guys step me through this so I feel confident we know what's going on. What would I do first? Okay. Now, it's possible, like, could this have been a 4 over 2x minus 3 to begin with? Sure, in which case, you may not have to get a common denominator. Okay, but I'm giving you ones that don't have the common denominator already. So now this is like 4 over 1, so to get our common denominator, we'll multiply by so we get 3x plus 1. 2x minus 3 plus 8x minus 12 for 2x minus 3. Add like terms. So I get 11x minus 11 over 2x minus 3. What do I do next? So we get 1 and 3 halves. So then we can do our sign line. Test point smaller than 1, so maybe a 0. Between 1 and 1.5, so maybe 1.2. Bigger, so maybe a 2. Plug them back in to this fraction. So if I put in a 0, I get a negative over a negative, which is positive. If I put in 1.2, I get a positive over a negative, which is negative. Put in a 2, we get a positive over a positive, which is positive. Which answers did we want? No equal to, so we don't have to worry about brackets. So it's just from 1 to 3 halves. All right. So yesterday I gave you guys some inequality problems. Today I'm giving you the final problems. So this homework is due tomorrow. So I think yesterday I left off with 34. So there's 7 new problems if you did all of them